Oh, yes, it's a great day in every way. I'm your lady, Dr. Lotus Riché. Have you ever wondered why it's so important for people to write books, but not only to write books, but also tell about their history, where they came from, so they know where they're going? Well, I know that you are ready to hear my amazing guest today. I have the remarkable, incomparable Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. Not only is she an actress, she's an activist, she is a spokesperson for those whose voices have been silenced. She's ringing the bell of liberty to help people hear their message so that their message can go out and change lives. And on top of that, she's writing great books that help you to do critical thinking, to change the way you think about what you think about so you can change the way you feel and behave. And guess what? She didn't come alone. She's here with all-time music great, Mr. Michael Edell. He's a world traveler and he's sang and played with some of the best funk bands on the planet. And don't let me stop there. He's also helped her with this new book. Shh, we're going to keep the secret and let them let it out. But also here, we've got the lady that puts the E in excellence, none other than Kim Wells Eley. She's in the house. As you know, she helped Miss Yemaja with her recent books as well. And she's here. She's going to talk to you about the excellence of books and some of the things that she's experienced along the way during this journey. So we've got a great show for you today. We want you to sit back and enjoy yourselves, but most importantly, connect with someone that you know. And of course, the next voice you're going to hear from me, I'm not going to be alone. I've got some friends in the house. We'll be right back. Everybody wants to get their business booming locally and globally. And Books to Boom Your Business brings to you authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who have powerful books that will make and keep your business and your personal lives booming. Welcome to the show, Books to Boom Your Business. All right, I want you to come on in and get in where you fit in because I always got room around my table on this amazing show. And today we've got a hot show for you. So we want to take care of some home stuff today. And listen, I'm on location in Wichita, Kansas. Actually, I am broadcasting live from a hospital. So you might hear some talking behind me every now and then. But don't be afraid, everything is all right. And we're going to have a great show today and tonight. That's right, because we're going to replay this tonight. And so as we get started today, I want you to go ahead, tag your friends, tell them to come on in and get in where they fit in because we've always got room around our table for who? For all of you. That's right, for all of you. So with that shared, we're going to jump right in. And the next folks you're going to hear from is not going to be from me, but from my amazing guests. So let's see if we can go ahead and bring this up for you. Please welcome world-renowned inspirational speaker, author, and poet, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. M.A. PMP Kim Wells Eley. Music producer and nonprofit consultant, Michael Edell. And I know y'all couldn't hear me backstage doing my thing. Welcome our guests to the show. Great to see everybody. How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, you are in the house with one of music's greats, Mr. Michael Edell, and of course, the lady that put E in excellent, ever ready, ever getting it done, and ever beautiful. Miss none other than Miss Eley is in the house. So happy to have you here, Kim. Always great to see you. So, Yemaja, you did it again. You got another great book that's here, and we want to talk about it. How are you doing today?
I am aviate just like you and all your viewers out there. Amazing, beautiful beings of love and light, and also awesome too.
Magnificent. So listen, we're going to get right into this thing, but we got to go to the funk master himself, the man that's had the amazing pleasure to do a lot of great things with a lot of great musicians and speakers and thought leaders and travelers. Michael Edell, how are you doing today? And welcome to the show.
Highly blessed, highly favored. I'm doing just fantastic. Thank you. What a thrill it is to be on your show. I've been such a fan of yours for years, and we have some mutual buddies. And so thank you. Thank you. I'm doing great.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I think I got a little treat for you later, Mr. Mike. Mr. Michael, I got a treat for you. So, Kim, talk to us right quick.
Oh my goodness. So grateful. You always light up a room, Dr. Lotus. So it is always wonderful to see you. You even light up this screen. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, Kim, you're lighting up lives because you're helping people write their books, get their stories out, and not only get their stories out, but change their lives for the better, and also change the lives of the readers that read their dynamic books. So kudos to you. It's always a great time to see you. So as promised, I've got something that I'm going to share with Mike. So Michael is talking about the remarkable Dr. Martha High, who Dr. Yemaja Jubilee and Dr. Martha High got their doctorates, their initial doctorates at the same time. And I say initial because Dr. Yemaja Jubilee also has a jurisprudence that she recently got as well. So I'm going to play a little something for you because I know a lot of y'all know Miss Martha High. And so I'm going to share a little something right quick, and then we're going to get this show started. There we go. So let's give a great big hand clap. I know you are bringing Dr. Martha in with you in your heart. And I got to tell you, folks, I am so honored to be here with all of you today because all of you are living legends and icons in your own right. And so, Dr. Yemaja, I'm so happy that you gave me the honor to have you and our amazing guest on the show to talk about your new book. So let's get right into the book. Dr. Yemaja, we're going to get you up close and personal because we want you to tell everybody about the book, the name of the book, and how you decided to come to this amazing masterpiece.
Can you see that? Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Well, after I did the Dr. Oprah Lee project, which you were a part of, and I did my tribute to my father, as I sat down and I looked at things, and I thought about the things that I had gone through as a black woman during Jim Crow. And I decided it was time for me to tell my story of the trauma that I went through from birth on through, and how that affected me, because I wouldn't have had the experiences if it wasn't for the Reverend Dr. John Henry Brown and Marie Brown. So this book is about the experiences that I went through with the discrimination, segregation, and colorization. And it tells harsh reality that people don't want to talk about there, but I want to talk about it. And I felt that it was the right time to put it out there. I was led by spirit to put those stories down and tell my story. I believe that we cannot erase it. I am going to tell my story. That's what my vision is about. And it's about those incidents. It's about those experiences. It's about the trauma, but it's also about the triumph.
That's amazing. That's absolutely lovely. So, we love just looking at your beautiful self, but you tell us more about that book before we jump back into the screen. Tell us the name of the book.
The name of the book is called Born and Raised Under Jim Crow. Now you know. And it's different stories from each section of my life. From the beginning, the art that's in the book was done by Joel. It's all Anika symbols. And the book is written, this is my first nonfiction book, because as you know, Martha and I did a book together for poems called Soul to Soul.
Yes.
And that's what we did that book.
Right.
And this book, all the other book was I wrote, which you were in, was the one that I did about Dr. Oprah Lee, From the Visit to the Lake. Okay? So now this book was the most difficult thing that I've ever had to put together, because of the fact that there was so many different feelings.
Right.
It was hard to go through it and put it in, but I made it through, and I had the help of a whole lot of people supporting me as I processed my self-held trauma.
Right.
All right. My mind held beliefs about myself, and that I was not good enough, that I am not worthy, and I'm not valuable as a Black woman. But I got through it.
Wow. That's dynamic. Come on, y'all. Let's give Dr.
Yeah.
Woo! She is coming with the fire, as you always do. You always bring the fire, and you always bring the love from such a loving place. So I want to go right over to you, Kim, because you have worked with Dr. Yemaja on other projects. But this project, in and of itself, why was this something that you feel you just had to work with her on?
Absolutely. So, as Dr. Yemaja alluded to, previously we had worked together both with Martha High, and then also Yemaja had done a book of poetry. And that was raw. It was real. But you know what? This was very different. This was, as Yemaja was describing, delving into the real events and what made her the powerful, creative, amazing person she is. I think it's so important to uncover the truth, because we are a product of who we are and where we came from, and the people who raised us and the people who influenced us. So yes, I felt very passionately about sharing this story. And it's important also not to bury our history. It's important to go back, and sometimes it is extremely painful.
It is. And sometimes people are even embarrassed about some of their history, because oftentimes society makes you embarrassed. But what you value is what you do. If you can value your life, if you can value your story, like Mr. Michael and I was having a chat backstage earlier, and he was just sharing the love of his music and the life he's led. And I got to tell you, it just brought a smile to my face. So Mr. Mike, the man in the middle, talk to us. You have stepped up and have helped Dr. Yemaja with this book. And so what I want to know from you is, what inspired you to say, I'm in, other than Dr. Yemaja, because she's a hard woman to say no to. Nobody says no to Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. Okay. So what inspired you to do it?
Oh, well, I was inspired from a lot of different directions. One is that having just met Dr. Jubilee and becoming friends with Dr. Jubilee and doing some work with Dr. Jubilee, you know, I just give her my time whenever she needs it and whenever I'm free. And so inspired because of who she is, but also having worked with her on some other things and our mutual love for inclusivity and for the defining what family means and how everybody has different definitions of what family is. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and my family was always embraced people from all cultures, all ethnicities. So we had Black friends. We were invited into their family. They were invited into our family. We sat at the table together. We ate together, etc. And I didn't know anything different until, as I grew up, I started noticing things outside. You know, I started seeing drinking fountains that were labeled for colored only. And I'd ask my mom, why is that? Why are this restroom this way? You know, so I just realized something was wrong. And then I saw my mom, who was working for a law firm, beginning to help many of the Black families that we were friends with, helping them through their legal issues on a pro bono basis. And I realized, you know, I realized that I come from a family of servants. We have servants' hearts. We have a servant heart. So it's hard for me to say no when I know that the person I'm talking with and I'm friends with has a moral compass, that they're moving in the right direction. And also, one thing that's very important to me, and I think to many of our viewers, is that, you know, some folks, when you're talking with them, when you're working with them, you feel better than you did when you first started talking to them. So, you know, if people leave you with a higher spirit, you know, then that's a better thing, because we know then there are all those other folks that don't. So you just want to surround yourself with folks that you know, inspire you. So
I like that, because, you know, collaboration is power.
yes.
And not only is it power, it's strength. It gives you strength to get through those tough times.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you strength to know that there is someone that loves you and that appreciates you, and you got this. So just for a quick moment, let's talk about the power of collaboration. I'm going right to you, Dr. Yemaja, because you've collaborated with the folks we see here, but we know that you collaborated with Dr. Roy and so many others that support you and love you. So why is collaboration such a huge key?
I feel that collaboration is the key, because it does bring people together, and you get a plethora of ideas. You get a tapestry of cultures and ways of being, of different, the diversity and the inclusivity.
Yes.
I also, although I am a promoter of Black culture, I find that it works most effectively. Just like we had a team of 18 people.
Yes.
When we were bringing Dr. Overlee here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a team, it was a very diverse team with that tapestry of skills.
Yes.
Tapestry of people owning their voices, and tapestry of people bringing their creativity to make something happen. Because you cannot do it by yourself.
Right.
You cannot do it by yourself. I have learned that, and you need to support a people that can see your vision, that's going to support your vision, that's going to tell you if you cross the line. It's something like George Smith used to pull my coattail when we did Dr. Overlee coming. Mm-hmm. There were other people that had suggestions. I listened.
Right.
I listened. Mm-hmm. And I listened to people's ideas. Then if it does not work, what I do, I pray about it. I sleep on it, pray on it, get up, and then get on it. Like my dad taught me how to do. It's the same way with the collaborative thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's very spiritual for me.
True.
You know, I in connecting with people, you are never alone. And then there are people that don't want you to complete what you're doing.
That's true.
To be able to deal with them, I ask the higher power, what am I to learn from this? Because now I know when people bring that to me, I use my Q-tip. I quit taking it personal. All right? Right. Mm-hmm. I don't personalize it. I go back and say, God, what do you want me to do? And Kim has been with me ever since I started this journey as a writer.
Right.
Ever since from the first book, the book with Martha, and then the book about Dr. Opal. And then when Michael came aboard, Michael recorded with Martha one of the songs that I wrote.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All of that happened because it was a collaboration, and because what we did was we had that tapestry, we had that plethora of everything that we brought together, like my mama mixed a cake in a bowl, and what we did, and it came out with icing on it that sweets the words,
Sweet.
the sweets the taste.
Sweet, baby,
and
sweet.
We drink what we are, and we make what we think. I'm getting around with you now.
I love it. And so, thank you for sharing that. One thing that you always do is you march to the beat of your own drum. Even if you're afraid, you take them steps. And we're going to talk about that. But speaking of drums, and we got a musician in the house. So, Mr. Michael, we want you to talk to us about the importance of her marching to the beat of her own drum, how it lent to the book being as great as it is.
Well, let me think about that. I think that using the phrase again, the collaboration, what we were talking about before, the sum of the parts, it's all about synergy. When you put together a musical production of musicians and you're creating a song or you're producing a song, the sum of the parts are greater than the whole. So that's why it's really important that if you are inspired, if you are hearing a song, or if you're hearing a story, or if you're inspired by something poetic, there's something wonderful about capturing that lightning in a bottle for that moment and getting it down on paper. And a lot of people don't realize that they are far more creative than they think they are. And so they think, oh, I could never write a book, or I could never do that. Well, I used to think I could never record a song myself. I never thought that I would be able to play saxophone and sound halfway decent, but there was something inside of me that says, instead of saying, can I do it? I just said, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. And I don't know where it came from, but it just like, how difficult could it be? Well, if it's difficult, I'm going to blaze on through it. So
he said he gonna blaze. He said he gonna blaze on through
I'm
it.
gonna blaze on through it. That's right.
Blaze on through it. I love that. I love that because sometimes, Mr. Michael, people they get afraid. They get afraid because someone has told them that it can't be done. It's like the 4-minute mile. You didn't know it could be done until somebody did it. And so for you, Miss Eley, I would like you to talk to us about the fear that a lot of people feel, because that could have stopped you, Dr. Yemaja, fear. And we know we don't. Now, don't get it wrong, y'all. We want to say that she is fearless, okay?
Yeah.
But sometimes we have fear in our business, in our personal life, or for someone else. How could fear have stopped you? And if there was any fear, how did you overcome it? And we're going to start it with you, Miss Kim. Go ahead.
Absolutely. All great things happen outside of our comfort zone. If we have the courage to stand up and speak our truth, and also they say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, also open up our ears and listen to the truth as well. I think communication helps us overcome the fear that we have. And so I think the importance, I do have to say, Dr. Yemaja, you always appear fearless. I'm sure you probably have some moments where you aren't, but you're out there and you're saying your truth. And to me, it's so incredibly important. I consider myself, it's an honor to be able to help be a conduit to bring your voice into the world, because people need to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So let's go deeper, shall we? Dr. Yemaja, I had the pleasure of working with you on the recent book that you did with Dr. Jubilee. What an amazing opportunity we all had to come out and support her. And back then, you illuminated the time of growing up during the Jim Crow era. So I want to talk to you briefly about that. And then we're going to go right over to Michael, because Michael, I want to know how it was for you growing up white during the Jim Crow era.
Sure.
Dr. Yemaja?
Well, one of the things that I have to give credit again, Brother John Henry Brown and Marie Harris Brown,
Mm-hmm.
were actually brought up in a black community that stuck together. People don't do that anymore. If
Right.
somebody got black, there was a code on the party line telephone that let people know that the Ku Klux Klan was coming. All right?
Yep.
You didn't answer the phone. You just picked. My father got his gun. He had a hunting gun,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a rifle that he hunted with. He picked up the gun, and he told, I was 9 years old, and he told us and my two brothers, John and Kenneth, to go get it, go to the bedroom, go to the bedroom. But being as curious,
Mm-hmm.
I was curious. Well, what is all this about? And afraid, I went and I peeped through the window, and I saw these men with sheets on, which was very frightening. And then when they burned the cross, I said, oh, they burning Jesus. Because, you know, the cross was a symbol for Jesus for me. And I get emotional with this. Because I wondered, why are these men burning the cross? And it turned out here that Yahshua died on the cross, and here they are burning the cross. And so it was a confusion inside of me. I was fearful because my dad said it was dangerous. That was a horrible incident to have at 9 years old.
Yep.
But my curiosity, I had to see what was happening for myself. And the other thing too is my dad was a member of the NAACP. All right? He was very active. He was a minister, and he was very active. And he was the leader in that neighborhood. And whatever Brother John Henry Brown saw that was good, he brought his family. Everybody was a part. We were family.
Right.
You didn't have to be blood relations. But it brought us together. Segregation didn't separate us. It brought us closer together because of the humiliation and because of all those signs that we saw. It fused us together that we don't operate from there. I grew up with that. And your neighbors, you know, they did things for each other.
Right.
Okay? And my father was so upset about what was going on with having to shop at white stores. He opened up his own grocery store and a service station, and he had our own things. He made sure that we were taken care of. And the other thing that I remember most about growing up, my grandmother on my dad's side had been ruled as a black woman with a shotgun and a black iron skillet. All right, that's what she ruled with, to own her power as a woman. So one of the reasons that motivated me to tell the story is my great grandmother on my dad's side was the daughter of the slave master. She died when she was 105 years old. So I feel now I have to speak and tell stories. And it's my job to just put it all out there. And the separation that wasn't, I didn't feel like there was separation growing up. I felt the racism and the discrimination. But in the black neighborhood, the community that I was in, we killed hogs, we slaughtered cows, my grandmother made dandelion wine. I mean, it's just a lot of things that brought us joy. And of course, we had church services. So there are no communities as I see it now like that. We do not work together, we work against each other. Right. And when you have things going on, as my dad did, and all of the business and stuff that even you've been there on the farm and all the stuff that we've had. Kim has been down there. She knows the land that he amassed, and he amassed that by playing games with white people. And he listened to what they were doing. Then he went back and made it applicable to what he was doing, and he made money. So
Each one teaching. That's right. That's right.
And the stories that I am telling in this book was in an environment that it was like there was two worlds. One that I lived in that was all black, and when I stepped out of it, I stepped into the place where there was racial discrimination and white supremacy.
Wow, I tell you that's deep, and it's concerning as well. It's concerning, and it's diverse, because your experience as a woman of color during that time is diversely different than anyone from any other ethnicity, and especially different from a man's perspective. So Mr. Michael, I want to talk to you. How was it growing up being a white man, being a man, first of all, being a white man in the Jim Crow area or era, I should say?
Well, it was very soul stirring in a lot of ways because of my involvement and my work with the Black community and Black musicians. Then it was an immersion for me in Black culture. So it started as that, but as life went on and I started touring, I started seeing the differences, especially touring in some of the parts of the South. You know, you'd be in a car, and I would be like in the back seat with two other Black guys, and a Black guy's driving, and a Black guy's in the passenger seat, and we'd stop by the police, and they'd shine the light in the car, and they'd shine it in my face, and they would only talk to me. They say, "Are you okay? Is everything all right in here?" You know, and it was obvious that he may have thought that I was being kidnapped or something wrong was going down. But there were things like that. And actually what would happen is as we drove away after we went through the, whoo, my goodness, you know, but then we started laughing and all the brothers would say, "Well, Michael, are you okay? You okay?" And it got to be a joke. We found the humor in it, but the humor was a minute, but the lasting effect of that, pulling into certain restaurants where Black people were not allowed to be served, and then I would have to go get the food and bring it back to the bus, you know, where we were traveling. That was very, very difficult. And then in some towns, especially during times of national civil unrest, there were times when they would have to go and get the food because it would not be safe for me to go into that restaurant. And so there was an exchange there, but it was a bonding and it was a blueprint for survival that I noticed. And a lot of my Black brothers and sisters had special ways of surviving in this world, this segregated world. And a lot of that is passed down as a blueprint for survival. Even today, it may be different than it was then, but it's still, Dr. Jubilee's book is a blueprint for survival. It shows what Black families, churches, businesses had to do to survive. And it's still true. Maybe the language is a little different, you know, but, you know, maybe back then it was a mother would tell their Black child, don't cut through white people's backyard because it's different for us than it is for them. You know, maybe those codes are some of those are the same today in some parts of the country, but some of the codes are different, say in the workplace or in corporate America. You know, it all changes depending on what environment we're in. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And Kim, how was it for you during this era?
I did not see a lot of it. I do remember looking at yearbooks that belonged to my relatives. And I had lots of questions because growing up in rural South, you know, I would see things in the yearbook like, unfortunately, people performing in blackface. And I had lots of questions and no one wanted to talk about it. It was something that nobody wanted to discuss. Growing up, I was curious and I wanted to have answers because I always grew up having Black and white friends. And it felt very sketchy to me that nobody would talk about what had happened. So to me, and also I guess partly being from around the Richmond, Virginia area, during Black Lives Matter and Monument Avenue, famous street in Richmond, I had no idea growing up the prejudice behind the monuments that so many people had celebrated. to me, sometimes it's eye-opening. It's always heart-wrenching. And I also believe we cannot, and forgive this, I do not mean this as a pun, we cannot whitewash history. We cannot forget where we came from. And I think it's so important because I believe all of our Black brothers and sisters deserve to have their voice heard and understand why we're in some of the political climate we're in today. We have to understand where we came from. And also, celebrate the fact that even though Dr. Yemaja and people in Yemaja's community went through so much, Yemaja is badass, creative, amazing, a force of nature. And to have her now recognized by Longwood University, where she was denied entry, I
Yeah.
have to say is very sweet.
Yep. Yep. Let's put our hands together because
Yeah.
yeah, let's put our hands together because let me tell you something about the Longwood experience. I don't think anybody knows this better than Dr. Yemaja because she had to work to get that done. And by accepting that honor, she's showing people not only is it possible, but we must go back, go back and help people come to the now.
Yes.
I had a guest, Dr. Bryant. She made a quote when she came here, and she talked about her past not being her now. And so, what Dr. Yemaja, you do, and you do so well, you take the past and you help us not to hide it, shove it under a rug. You help us talk about it. You help us also to be about it because we can't change anything if we don't work on it. So we have to confront it. We can't be complacent. We can't stay silent. So let's talk about that, Dr. Yemaja, because I'm sure it's got to be tough and has been tough for you doing that. And so Mr. Mike and I talked briefly about some of these questions, and confronting silence and complacency is something that he suggested. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Well, to me, what I say is BYOT, bring your own truth, and BYOT, bring your own voice, because when you bring your own voice, you create your own vibe. Right?
Ooh, nice.
And every uniqueness, we all have uniqueness, and we all have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, as a Black woman, I was afraid to own my voice. I cried when I was growing up in my neighborhood. I was known as crybaby because I was unable to express my feelings. So after going through this process and the phases and the places that I have lived, like in New York and Nashville and Chattanooga and Richmond, I learned that I don't have to people please.
Hello.
Nobody else's opinion matters about me, and I am not going to beg you. I have learned to ask for what I need, and I ask for it, and then when I don't get it, it all seems to work out, but it comes back full circle. I pray about it, and then I wake up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll hear a voice that tells me, this is what you're needed to do now. Trust in the process. Trust it. But in order to BYOT, you have to first know what your truth is.
Yes.
Recognize where I came from with my great-grandmother being the daughter of the slave master. Okay? With my father facing and having to listen to white people to build his business. And though I wasn't heard growing up, as I've gone through, I put myself in therapy. All right? I carry a therapist in my back pocket because the mental conditioning that I received about who I was, I had to go back and go through those things which had scarred me. And that's how I came to go to Longwood, because I was at a spiritual retreat. And they asked me to be honest about something that had scarred me, and I was still carrying it. And then what was I going to do about it? So, I wrote the letter to the president of the university.
Hello.
And And then I kept persistently seeking it and asking for it. I didn't go girlfriend. I didn't put my hands on my head and cuss them out. Okay. Even though I felt anger, even though I felt slighted, even though I wanted to tell them where they put it, right? I did not, because I prayed. I used my breath as a way to calm down, and I asked God to give me that the words of my mouth come out in a way that's going to be accepted, but also speaking my own truth. I now know who I am, and I don't need no external validation. I don't need you to tell me that you are this and you are that. I know from inside out, created by the master creator, and the master creator created me perfectly. Miss High and I have a new book that's going to be coming out called Me Unbecoming Me. And the poems that are in that book about how I went through what I went through, and she does all the art in it. So I feel we have to unbecome who we've been programmed to be. From white society, from families that we grew up in, from neighborhoods, and normalcy. I hate the word normalcy. I hate the word some places. I will not comply unless God shows me that this is where you don't tell me what color to dye my hair, which I've been told. You don't tell me what nail polish to put on, because I've been called wild because I wear green nail polish and green eyeshadow. You do not dictate to me how I am going to be the woman that I am. And I am proud of who I am. I love it. I have self-care, which leads to self-love. And self-love means that God loves me first, and I don't give a flying hoot about what you think.
I love it. And you know, you got to change from all the stuff that everybody else is trying to inundate you with, because that change is your opportunity for your own greatness. So I absolutely love that. Woo, I tell you, Michael, I would not want to have to go after that. But Mike, I want to ask you this question, and pardon me for saying Mike. I have a few friends that
all right, it's okay.
So please forgive me. But Michael, I want to ask you this, because a lot of times, as a white person, you're standing on the sidelines when some things that are going down, and not that you're wanting to stand on the sideline, but you're made to stand on the sideline. Like when you said you were in the car and they flashed that light in your face, like, where you at? Who you do? You all right? But witnessing as civic duty, talk to us about that, because that is super important.
You know, some of the work that I'm doing with a nonprofit out here in California called One New Heartbeat, they're working with the different communities that are affected with addiction, and they're involved in the justice system. And one of the things that they teach through this wellness recovery action plan that they help folks do is to say the quiet part out loud. So sometimes you've got stirrings inside of you that's just something's not right. You know, a friend of mine said you feel like you're sitting on a nickel. You feel something there, but you don't know what it is, you know. And so, you know, when you're sitting on a nickel, you know, you just have to kind of start articulating it, even if it's to yourself, what's going on. Once you realize that that's the bothersome part, that's the part that's troubling you, you know, you got to explore it and go deep into it. And once you realize a wrong, you say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
They teach kids today, see something, say something, you know, and the same things that we're telling kids to protect themselves, we need to say to ourselves. You know, if it ain't right, it's probably not right. And people will reveal who they truly are, you know, as the song saying is, they will reveal who they truly are. But what is your role in that? What is your role in that? To absorb all their pain and walk away with their pain? No, I don't think so. It's to learn from it. And so I think we are witnessing history, as I did, and as Dr. Yemaja Jubilee is doing right now. It's your civic duty to say some of those quiet parts out loud. Give testimony. You know, say, yes, I saw that too. I saw that too. And yes, I will stand for you in this. There's some people I know going through things. They're going to court at 3 o'clock on Friday next week, and I put a note in my calendar that at 3 o'clock next Friday, I'm going to stand wherever I am. I'm going to stand for them, to let them know that I'm standing for them right then and there. I may not be in Minneapolis, but I'm standing here in California for you. And if I can do anything to help, I will. And I always ask them, what do you need? What are you getting? What do you need? And so I do believe witnessing is a very important part, especially in today's world.
I love that. And witnessing, by the way, I want to thank Paterson, New Jersey, for our amazing guest, Miss Nunez. She's in Paterson, New Jersey, and she is sharing this out. She said that she's sharing, so thank you. And so for all of our guests, and thank you, Angie. I see you in Wichita, Kansas, and I see we got folks in Africa and all over the place that are streaming. I know some of you are just playing the replay, so thank you so much for playing the replay. Share this broadcast out, because if you're just joining us, I've got the incredible Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. She's an actress, she's an activist, she's an author, and guess what? She's a wonderful mother. She's got an awesome, amazing daughter who I love. She's incredible, and she is just a lifeblood to any community that she's a part of. And then, of course, we got the music man himself, Mr. Michael Edell, here with us, world traveler, and he's been on some amazing projects with amazing singers and actresses like the incomparable Dr. Martha High, of course, Mr. James Brown, and so many other greats. And of course, the lady that puts excellence and just incredibleness, and that incredible don't start with I. I'm making my own word. It starts with an E today, because Kim Wells Eley is in the house. So be sure to share this broadcast. And today we're talking about the amazing new book from our incredible guest, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, who has partnered with both of our guests, and of course she has other supporters around the world to create her new book that we want you to make sure you get out. And so Michael is going to put in the chat, we're going to send you the link so you can get this amazing new book. Don't wait till tomorrow. You can get this book today, because it is going to change your life. So as we continue to talk about life-changing concepts and ideas, we talked about why this book matters now, why it's important. We talked about growing up in the Jim Crow area. We also talked about confronting silence and complacency. We also talked about, hey, you see something, you need to say something. I want to talk about something else. Michael, I talked to Kim about how it was for her supporting this book. And oftentimes when women do projects, a lot of people that support women are women. But Michael, you came along and you said, I'm going to support this endeavor. I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to not be silent. I'm going to help in preserving Black history, not tomorrow, not later next week, but today.
Mm-hmm.
So, Michael, I'd like you to talk about some of the challenges you faced along this journey, and why is it important to preserve Black history? And what does preserving Black history mean to you?
Well, when I was growing up, Black history was not gone into the detail that I later learned needed to be spoken, needed to be taught. When you're growing up in the South, there are certain images about what Black history was, and it always goes back to the slave times and everything, but they didn't really talk much about the heroes and the sheroes. And so now in today's political environment, there's some folks that are trying to erase Black history. And we just can't let that happen. And Dr. Jubilee's book pushes back against that erasure. You know, it's just not. It's not. It's not needed. We've got to hold it. Somebody's got to, keep the flame. Keep the flame going somewhere, because if other areas when the flame's going to be blown out, we will at least have the flame to restart it elsewhere. And that's why I want to help out in this. It's whenever someone asks me to be part of it, or if I see an area where I can help, I'm going to just jump in.
That's awesome.
Because we just can't have things like this erased from public memory.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And so, Kim, talk to us. Why is it important for preserving Black history today? And then, Dr. Yemaja, we're going to go right to you. I think Kim might be experiencing a little difficulty. I think it went out, but there we go. Kim, talk to us.
Absolutely. I love what you said, Michael, and I want to add to that. They say history is in the power of the person who wrote it. And so oftentimes what we get is the perspective of whoever has written the history book. Dr. Yemaja is writing that history book. We're preserving her testimony, her life story, and sharing it because it matters. There's the famous expression, those who do not follow history are doomed to repeat it. And heaven knows we have
Right.
not come to where we are to not acknowledge it and express the truth even when it's difficult, and to just preserve our history to keep forward so we do not repeat some of the things that had happened and we do not want to have happen.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. So, Dr. Jubilee, we're going straight to you. You are a person that keeps people, no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from, aware of Black history and the importance of it. And preserving Black history today at a time when, as Michael said, people are otherwise trying to erase it from the history books. Why is that so critical? And how does your book tie in to preserving Black history today and for every day to come?
Well, one of the things that I know that is most important, because of white supremacy and because of all the gestures and the action to embrace us in so many different be aware of what our own biases are. And we have to keep alert and aware, okay? And we have to be aware of where we are and where we desire to go.
And Dr. Yemaja, pardon me, and thank you everybody for letting me know. They couldn't hear us earlier, Dr. Yemaja, because I had forgotten that we're bringing in on phone audio. But we want you to back up just a little bit because they could see you. I had to open the mic back. I'm on location, folks, here at the hospital. So, but Dr. Yemaja, we want you to back up just a little bit because you said that the book is dedicated to Miss Fannie Lou Hamer. And I want you to pick up right from there. And then I want you to go back and just say what you got to say. We've got the mic open and we want everybody to hear what you have to say. Please and thank you.
In each chapter of this book, and the reason why I decided to use Fannie Lou Hamer, because she was a voice, and she sung that song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," and she did. During the Johnson administration, she spoke up. She spoke up. So she is a person that I admire. She is a person that served as a role model for me to own my voice. And she came from a family of 20 people, all right? She died young because she had cancer. But when I was researching, going back as to who to dedicate this book to, she owned her voice. She was not afraid. She fought her life, and she fought it, and it changed millions of lives. Millions of lives. So one of the things that we have to remember that, like I was saying, one person can make the difference. You can make a difference where you are. You don't need, you can participate in marches and would organize celebrations, bring attention to where we are now as a country. But where you are in your community, what are you doing? What are you willing to say? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to say? What are you committed to for you and other human beings? And as I was saying before, at the end of each chapter in this book, I have what I call soul ignorance. And the soul ignorance, how did this story touch you? What in it that started you to think about the white systemic racism that a lot of us have gone through? And then I have an affirmation. And the affirmation says, unapologetically, undeniably, wholeheartedly, I own my voice. Speaking my truth, challenging these systems that marginalize, dehumanize, and it, like I said, it's microaggressions. Microaggressions. And the microaggressions are sometimes so small, and you get questioned about it. Listen to what is being said. Fannie Lou Hamer did. We can do it. We can bring our voice. And then you go out, and I ask them to pledge that they would vow to use the truth that they find to make a difference in wherever you find you're in. And it don't matter to me where I am. I can be somewhere where it's all white. There's a different vibe in being in an all white situation. I get a different vibe. And if I'm in an all black situation, that's a whole nother vibe. All right? But I will not fail to speak up no matter which environment. And then I like the diversity of inclusivity as well. But whatever it is, I will not perform. If something, it could be in church, it could be, in a dance routine, or I could get asked to go speak spoken word, and I examine where that organization is. Like they have the Hull Street Festival coming up here, and I've been asked to come to that stage. And the poem that I'm thinking about doing is called Black is Me, Black is You, and Black Are We. Is what I was thinking about doing. And also, I have written a new poem about what it is to grow up under Jim Crow that I will use. The book signing launch is September the 13th, and it's here in Richmond, Virginia, at 923 Buford Road, Unity Church of Bon Air, from 2 to 4. This is where we'll have the, I call it a book bash.
Yes.
Party to release the book. But you can do something. You can make a difference individually. You make a difference when you get up in the morning and you get a breath. You are given a breath. You don't take a breath. You're given the gift of a breath. And with that breath, ask to show what you are. Set your intention for the day. I set my intention to put this book out All right. I set my intention, even though it was painful to write chapter after chapter. I set my intention, and I would wake up sad. Okay, but it helped me. It was cathartic. And I had many friends that listened to me. They listened to me go through the pain of what I was putting on paper. So if I can do it, you can do it. No matter how small it is, just do it, as they say.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And so I want to thank you for sharing that. Yeah, let's give her some snaps, snaps and claps. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And so I'd like to have a moment for each of you to share your thoughts on where do we go from here? Why should we keep speaking up? And we want to let everyone know how to connect with you. So, Kim, we're going to hear from you first. Why should you keep speaking up? And how can we connect with you?
Absolutely. Keep speaking up because, as Yemaja shared, bring your own truth, bring your own voice. Big amigo, God gave each of us a voice for a reason and a purpose. And so if anybody wants to get in touch, I'm at my company is called Kiwi Publishing, which is spelled KWE Publishing, Kim Wells Eley. And so you can go to kwepub.com. And yeah, I'm so grateful and incredibly delighted to collaborate with Dr. Yemaja Jubilee.
That's awesome. Come on, let's give Kim a hand. Kim, you're always amazing. And so there's her information on the screen. Folks, make sure you connect with Kim. You will be happy that you did. Kim is an amazing woman to work with. She's an amazing woman to talk to, but also she gives really great hugs. So I'm just letting
Thank you.
gives really great hugs. So Michael, you're gonna have to top her hug when I see
All right.
you.
I'm pretty good.
So, Michael,
I'm pretty good.
I'm looking forward to it too. So, Michael, let's hear from you. Why is it important to keep showing up? And we're going to go a step further. Kim, I'm going to come back to you as well. What would you tell the readers of this book? What would you tell the readers of this book?
I would like the readers of this book to realize that it is a time capsule that has captured the words from someone who was there, an eyewitness to history. And to think of it almost through a lens of, and forgive me for a second, paleontology. You know, when those guys are out there, those guys and gals are digging, and they found a bone, and then they found the other bone, and they connect it, and they put the pieces together, and all of a sudden it's this kind of dinosaur. Well, you know, these books are the bones of our history, and a lot of people will use this to try to put together, assemble a picture of what happened. And so 100 years from now, this book is still on the shelf somewhere. Someone reading it would be able to connect it to another piece of history and another piece of history. And then all of those will be little pixels like on the television screen to give readers an idea of what was happening. Our voices may not last forever, but our words can. And so that's why these books are very important. And Dr. Jubilee has kept it in her voice. You know, it hasn't been all just doctored up and made absolutely perfect. It's in her voice, and that's what I want people, when they're reading this, to hear it as though she was sitting right next to you, telling you a bedtime story. That's what I want.
Fantastic, Michael. And Michael, we want to hear a bit more from you. Like I said, I'm on the location here. And so, Michael, I'd like you to talk to the men around the world. And we have people joining us from the Philippines, from Africa, all over the world. Why is it important for men to get this book and read this book and support it?
Sure. I think to understand the different cultures around the world, you know, a lot of people in Europe during the time of Jim Crow were not experiencing what was going on in the United States. They were doing it, they're experiencing different ways of looking at racism and different ways of looking at some of the things. So I just invite people to expand your mind and read something from outside the mainstream of what you are normally watching. I mean, a lot of times we sort of get an idea of who people are by what TV shows we watch and by what news channels we're watching. And oh, they're watching this. Well, I don't watch that anymore. Now we can have something that's unaffected by commercials and unaffected by people vying for our attention. You have in your hands or on your screen, if you do the printed version on screen, you have in your hands the unblemished version of what was going on during Dr. Jubilee's life. And, I think it will just inspire you to think differently about maybe America, think differently about Black people, think differently about women, seeing women whose voices have been silenced throughout the years, to see it as being a contributor to our knowledge and our perspectives and seeing things through a different lens.
I absolutely love that you share that. Thank you, Michael. And so, Dr. Jubilee, we'll be coming to you momentarily because we want to hear from you. We want you to tell us what you feel. The authors, you want to know and you want to hear from the authors and you want them to feel and express. But before we go there, because Dr. Jubilee, you're going to have the last word of the show. Before we go there, we want to give you some honor, Dr. Jubilee, where honor is due. So, Kim, I'd like you to go ahead and go first. Let's give her her honor now. Kim?
Oh my goodness. Y'all, I often will say, and I'm proud to say, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee is a brilliant, bodacious badass. She is an incredible force of nature and a force for good in this world. She is all about love, light, and positivity. And she absolutely is a bright beam of light in this world. So I'm so grateful for you.
Hey.
Woo, woo.
Yes.
The maestro of magnificence, Mr. Michael, talk to us.
Oh, I love using the word bodacious because as starting to know Dr. Jubilee as I have over the past few years, I hadn't heard that word in a long time, and she has inserted it into my vocabulary. Dr. Jubilee is a poetess. She is an author. She is an actress, a singer. She preaches and she teaches and she writes words that make you say, I wish I said that. And a lot of times when people read those words and talk to her how she feels, when she's describing how she feels, I just wish people would feel some of the things that she has felt, because in this world when we're all trying to connect, Dr. Jubilee says, have you felt this? Do you feel this? Do you want to break out of those chains and think differently? That's what Dr. Jubilee is all about.
I absolutely love that. Let's give Dr. Jubilee a hand. So, Dr. Jubilee, we are so amazed and thankful for you, for all the work that you are doing, for the love and the hope that you're bringing to the world. No matter what skin we're in, we know that we have a friend in you, and that's going to tell the truth, help us to overcome our shame, help us to overcome some of the negative voices in our head. We know that you do that for us. And so we just want to thank you right now for you doing that. And so, Dr. Jubilee, what would you like the readers of this book to know? And how do you feel they are going to be inspired by this book? Dr. Jubilee?
I want to start with this. I got you resonating. I got you resonating. Yo, I got you
Resonating
in my heart have believed an harmonious beat, and I own my own voice.
Hey.
I own my own voice, yeah, I own my own voice. Have believed in harmonious beat.
All right.
It's about speaking your truth. I wrote that song.
Yeah.
That's what I feel is most important, that the readers and the viewers of this remember the truth. Truth resonating in part happily and harmoniously. And no matter how much shame might come up, because we have tendency to have shame attached to our truth because someone else has said it to us, or we blame someone else.
Yes.
Instead, bring it to yourself and listen to see what it's trying to teach you. That's what I have done. I listen without casting blame. I own my own voice and I own my feelings, no matter how they suck sometimes. Feeling they suck. I meet the challenge and I gain a lesson from it. There's always a lesson.
Yes.
And then there's always a blessing that follows from that. By owning your truth, valuing who you are, self-care, self-love, and the magnificent magnitude of all the tapestry that you were created from that runs through the universe, you have it too.
Yes, you
You
do.
have it.
Yes,
So
you do.
uncover it, discover it, unweave those lines that have flown through you, the beliefs and the values. Make a list of what you value most in your life. Make a list of those beliefs that you have. And then write a letter to God from your heart. And then write a letter to me, myself, and I. Write a letter. And you go back and revisit it. And you will find that some of your truth will come up with the words.
Yes.
Watch who you surround yourself with.
Yes. Yes.
And like I went to the gym. It's a short story here. I go to the gym twice a week. And because of the vibe that I have brought to the gym, for the first time I've been going since February, there was a lady that greeted me at the door and said, "Oh, here you are, there you are. You're coming in, you're bringing this,
Yes.
you're bringing this, you're bringing that."
Mm-hmm.
And she hugged me and welcomed me. And what I do is, the other thing that I would encourage people to do, what I do is this. When people give me love, I order hearts from Amazon. I now give up the hearts to people. One of my practices is to show love.
Yes.
I give up hearts to people because
Yes.
they have smiled at me, and it gives me, no matter, nothing has to do with race, or it's all just giving people that. And one morning I gave a heart to this lady, and she was a white lady, and she cried. She said, because no one has shown her love in so long. And that little heart made a difference. And this morning when I went to get my coffee, there was this young black man. He wanted to buy me coffee. He bought my coffee because of who I am. And I spoke to him. All I did was speak.
Yes.
So when you know your truth, you give off a vibe.
Yes.
You give a positive vibe. So find something that you can do. Write a love letter to me, myself, and I. Write a letter to God and see what comes up, your values and your beliefs.
Yes.
And you go spread it. And everywhere that I speak, like Dejon Diamond, when he spoke, he was a guest speaker, Saturday. I stand on my mother's heart. And I had to introduce him. He was the only man that came to the platform because the heart wasn't straight. He took his feet and he put it under his feet and stood up there on my mother's heart. I honor my mother. There's little things that you can do. It may seem little, but what you do is you're going to reap what you sow.
That's true. That's
So
true.
all the trauma that I've gone through, all the pain and hurt from being raised in Jim Crow, I have flipped it. And I find ways to bring my light. I find ways. It doesn't have to be something of bigger magnitude, just like with the hearts. and just like with smiling at people and just telling them, wishing them a good day. And it works for me. That's what works for me. And I am happy about it. I am pleased with my life. And the other thing, one other thing I want to add to this, when something comes up and it vibrates you inside and out that something needs to be done, and you don't get the answer right there, because sometimes we want instant gratification. We want an answer right there. Trust me when I say to you, I went through it with Dr. Oprah Project. I went through it with getting this book out. Just wait. Pray on it, sleep on it, visit it, and get up and get on it.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome.
Amen.
That's awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. We absolutely love and appreciate you, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. And it's been our great pleasure to have you here today. And we look forward to the book. And where can the folks get your book at?
Well, they will come to my book signing. You get a personalized copy. You get a copy and sign it. But the book will be available, after September the 1st, it will be available on Amazon. You can go get the book on Amazon. Okay? You can just put in my name. If you don't remember what the book name, just put in my name. Okay? Yes. And you will see it. And you can't miss it because I'm a 17-year-old that's on the front of the book. This is my graduation picture at 17. And Joelle did the art to make it out with all the signs and things and colored and white only and all of that. Look, you can't miss it. That's where they can get it on Amazon. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to my YouTube channel and look on my YouTube channel, which is Love, Life, and Positivity with Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, or you can contact me. You can go to Facebook, my Facebook page, Yemaja Jubilee. I'm also on Instagram, and just reach out to me. I got a call the other day from Arkansas, right? Arkansas. And I've got to call from St. Louis, Missouri to come. And from Vegas with this book. This book is, you see, Dr. Lotus, you get something good here, okay?
Yes, of course.
the thing about this is it's in time. It's God's time, it was my time, and it's our time. Read it, do the soul inklings, and affirm your affirmation and take the pledge to do something about where you are, who you are, and remember, like we used to say, bring who you are.
Bring who you are. That's right. Bring who you are. And there it is right there, folks. Make sure you go. And I see Christian Lewis is here from Kansas City, Missouri. We are so happy to have you here. I got to tell you, folks are just streaming in from everywhere still. So listen, go right there, and you can connect with her. And I'm going to put the link right here in your chat, and you can click on that link right there, and it'll take you right to this page. So you can be sure to grab your copy September 1st. All right, fantastic. So with no further ado, folks, we put it right back to you. We have another upcoming event for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit. We want to see all the men. This opportunity for you is called Ignite Your Life for Life Summit, When Men Exhale. And we want you all to come out and be a part of this amazing summit. Why? Because it's going to help men excel in ways that they've never excelled.
Calling all men. It's time to stand up and show up in Paterson, New Jersey for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit, themed When Men Exhale. There are only 50 seats. It is a first come, first served basis. Get your tickets now for only $49.97. See you there.
Quick, short, and to the point. So here we are. I got to tell you, it's been an amazing time today with our amazing guests. And so we look forward to you grabbing your new book. We are going to have all of them come back to the show. Once the book goes live, we're going to have them come back to the show. We want to bring all of them back, read some excerpts from the book. And also you as a viewer, get your book so we can post your questions live on our broadcast. And as you know, we share our broadcast with other partners that we have. And you may see us on Roku TV. You may see us on Apple TV, et cetera, et cetera. And so we want to take your message and share it with the world. And again, thank you for all of our folks from around the world. Sharon, we see you. Christian Lewis, we see you. Miss Nunez, we see you over in the Philippines. Miss Kay, thank you so much. And as we say, be blessed. Don't stress. Always do your best and don't take no mess as you ignite and take flight in the books to boom your business of your life. Have a great day, everybody. Please welcome world-renowned inspirational speaker, author, and poet, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. M.A. PMP Kim Wells Eley. Music producer and nonprofit consultant, Michael Edell. So if you missed the beginning of the show, that's who was on the show. And we want you to share this with someone you know. Have a great weekend and get your book. See ya. Thank you for watching the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring that bell so you won't miss a thing. And we'll see you on the next episode of Books to Boom Your Business. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at lotus@lotusricheignitesyou.com. To Boom Your Business brings to you authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who have powerful books that will make and keep your business and your personal lives booming.